Hello, Mr. Florin.
Hello, how are you?
Good, good. So
So,
today we have this game which you played against Tal.
yes, we showed this game. It was a very strange game, I must say. After so many years, I'll explain a little bit.
Okay.
It was a very special situation because uh, 2 rounds before our game, I was almost sure to be between the candidates to qualify for the candidates matches. I
Okay.
had a very good result there. I played very well, let's say, in this interzonal. And um, it was really unbelievable, but I lost against someone who had no chances at all to qualify. I mean, it's an international master from Brazil. I had
After this
completely,
game,
no, before,
before.
just before our game with Tal.
Okay.
And it happened because usually in this period, I lost very rarely. I mean, maybe I lost one game in 2 years or something like this. It was a very
Oh,
good
okay.
period for me. So I
Mm-hmm,
played
mm-hmm.
very well.
So
So
it affected you the loss.
no, it was decisive. Let's say
Okay.
because yeah, and it happened like this. I had completely winning game against this player from Brazil. And okay, the situation on board was much better for me for white. I say I
Yeah.
played with white, and I had 1 hour more on the clock, so I could play anything, and probably I should win even by not playing the best moves. You see.
So you had the time. You have the
Yeah, I had
better.
everything. Yeah, I
Okay.
had everything. I had just to wait a little bit, and maybe he made a small mistake, and it was enough. You see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then I saw a very nice combination, and I wanted to win in a very nice way. You see, so I sacrificed a piece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thinking that it was by force mate. So I could mate him,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and it wasn't mate.
It
And
wasn't.
yeah, and finally he was piece up, and he could win after 30 moves. I don't know. We played a very long game.
Oh,
So
okay.
of course, after this, it was the biggest one of the biggest surprises of the tournament. You see. So in that moment, I didn't. I had a very very bad night. Of course, I slept very badly, and the next day I had to play with black against Tal.
Mm-hmm.
So probably like because of this, I played in such a way. We'll see why and how. Yeah,
Okay. So you had.
and it was therefore the game was very strange. You see.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
First of all, I have to say that all my games against Misha, against Tal, were draws. It's very strange also because he has such a style. I mean,
So up to now, everything was draws.
everything, and up to now, and afterwards.
And after this game.
Always. Everywhere we played, it was very big fight. In all these games. He played almost every game with white. Also a very big advantage for Tal because he had such a style.
Yes.
And here any normal player in this world would play a normal game, quiet enough, and so to try to make a draw against Tal.
Especially if you play with black.
And especially if you
Yeah.
play black. And after such a thing, that I explained before, after
Yes.
this small catastrophe against Brazilian. And okay, we played the Sicilian. Also, Sicilian is very sharp game
Yeah.
to accept to play against Tal Sicilian. But I played always Sicilian, so okay, I played against him also. And we arrive immediately after the opening. I mean, knight f3, d6, d4. And here, knight f6 is an alternative. Normally, black takes immediately in d4, normal game. You see? So
Yeah.
knight f6, um, it's against the idea to take back with the queen immediately in d4. Therefore, black plays first knight f6. So, okay, after knight f6, usually everybody plays here knight c3, and we come back to the normal position,
Exactly.
So
Yes.
here, Tal took in c5, which is, another,
Sorry.
d takes c5, which is a normal move, but not the best for white. And here, after queen a5 check, the game is okay for black, After queen a5, bishop d2, queen takes c5, knight c3, and so on. Normally, after 15 moves, black has a very good position, and the game is even, more or less even, quiet, nothing happens, and you can be, content with black, you see.
Yeah.
I knew, of course, all this, but I can't explain even now what happened and why.
Mm.
I took in my hand the knight from f6, and I took in e4, you know. So what can I say? You know? So it's
Ah,
possible, but it's not against Tal is not the best way to do it, you know.
okay.
Yeah.
So you,
So I took in e4. Now White has to play the way he played. I mean, you know, trying to get a very complicated position, you know. So okay, so now he took in d6. Now if you want something, you have to take with the knight, you see. Because otherwise, if you take with the pawn, it's clearly much better for White, you know, after bishop d3, castle, and so on. It's clearly better. So I took with the knight, and now, starting from here, the game is already very complicated and better for White, you see. So, okay, knight c3, knight c6, bishop f4. And now it's clear, you have three ways to do it, you know. I mean, you can play e6, g6, or bishop g4. Probably the best way to do it is bishop g4 because it doesn't give too much, you know, because if you play g6 or e6, it's clearly better for White without any problem. I mean, he doesn't have to complicate too much. It's clearly better by
because
playing the normal moves, you know, queen
because
d2, big castle, and so on, you know. If you play with g6, probably finally you lose the pawn from d6 without fight, you see, in one moment. So, okay, I played bishop g4. I didn't like already the position, but I had to do it, you know, what could, yeah. So after h3, bishop h5, now queen d5, excellent move. Now you have to choose what to do. You go back to g6 the way I played, or you take in f3. If you take in f3, after queen takes f3 and castle, long castle, I mean,
yes.
yeah, he's clearly much better, you know. So, okay, I played bishop g6 to complicate, you know. And here it starts, you know, castle. Okay, what to do? I took in c2, you know, crazy
Wow.
move, but
Yeah.
it's okay. It's very good. It's the best move here. You know, at least you do something and you force the opponent to do something, you know, very sharp also, you see. Now, of course, he can't take in c2 because knight b4 check and you lose the queen. You see,
And he
White
lose the
loses
queen.
the queen. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And here, I, you know, I was thinking that he would play probably the best move. It seems the best move is bishop b5. Very strong. It seems very strong and very dangerous for black. And now we have
This
to
one.
look one variation. Yeah.
Yeah.
For instance,
Yeah.
now if you play bishop b5, if you take in d2, you are almost lost. I mean, you are lost immediately after bishop takes c6 and queen takes, and you can resign
So if he
because you
takes
lose the
here,
rook. If you take there, he lose. You take in c6. You must takes with the queen, and you lose the rook,
yeah.
and finished. You know,
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
So okay, you can't do it. So now after bishop b5, you have to take in b5, and now both have. It seemed to be very dangerous, almost losing for black. After knight takes b5 or queen takes b5, both of them very unpleasant, you know. So now, for instance, after queen takes b5, now you have to do something. What to do? The only move is to move the queen, but where? Only in c8, because if you move queen a5, after queen takes b6, you can resign immediately, you know. So, no, queen takes b7, pardon.
Sorry, b7.
Yeah, you resign immediately. So queen c8. And after queen c8, no, look at this. Queen c8, knight d5. Terrible. It seems completely winning for white, you see. So now you take in d1. I mean, hoping that he gives one check in c7, but he doesn't give check immediately. So the situation is like this: bishop, queen in c8. No.
Yes.
Queen in c8, and here he plays knight d5. And after knight d5, bishop takes d1, rook takes d1. And now it seems almost resignable for black. You know, you don't have any move. You know, he wants to give one check in c7, is finished. You know,
Yes.
yeah. And now it's a very nice position. I mean, very nice position, very complicated, where black can save. You see, I mean, it's unbelievable, but it's probably okay for black. f6, excellent move. f6.
f6. Okay.
And now the position could be like this. You know, knight c7 check, king f7, queen c4 check, e6, everything forced, you know. Yeah, e6, knight takes a8, queen takes a8, a8, yeah, you take with the queen. Rook d7 check. Bishop e7, yeah. Bishop d6, yeah. And rook e8. Well, everything forced until now, you see. I was calculating all this, you see, with bishop b5. Almost 15 moves, something like this.
Okay.
And now it seems that after knight d4, again, terrible, you know. For
D4?
d4.
D4?
D4,
Okay.
yeah. But now after knight d4, probably you can, pardon. No, pardon. No, the rook not in e8, in d8 you have to play. Rook d8, yeah. And now knight d4, I mean, he gives the rook. And now you take in d7, and queen takes e6 check. And now the move which saves the position is king g6. If you play
G6?
king e8, you can resign after queen g8 check, you know. But after king g6, he must give, you know, checks in f5 or in g4 and d6 and this draw, you know. Or accept a position where you have to play an endgame, queen endgame or knight endgame. Also drawish, probably, even game, you know, very complicated, but it seems that it's very good for white, almost winning all the time, but it's not winning all the time. So, okay, so
So you calculate all of
finally I
this and
calculated all this. I was more or less, you know,
prepared.
sure that everything can be very complicated, but maybe, you know, somehow it's
You
all
saved.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Eh? And then, you know, big surprise, he played something else and he started to leave every piece unprise, as always, you know, Tal.
Wow.
So instead of playing bishop b5, which seemed very, very strong, you know, he played here knight d4, look here. And after knight d4, it starts. Everything is almost forced, you see. So why? Because now if you take in d4, he
Yes.
takes with the rook, and then every piece is hanging, you know, and if he gives you one check in b5, you resign immediately afterwards, you know.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now you have to play the way I played, you see, but it's better for white all the time, you see. So what did I took the rook, yes, and he took there, and queen c8. All right. So from here, you know, look, again, white has to do something, and again, he found a fantastic move here. You know, knight takes e7. I mean,
Give up a knight.
Yeah, he gives the knight, and everything is forced again. You know, so you have to take. And now he took in d6, and now unfortunately you can't save the exchange. You know, black is, you know, here in this position is exchange up for black. You know.
Yeah.
But you can't keep the situation like this because it has very strong attacking chances, you know, here. You don't have any place to go now. You see, you have to do something. And if he gives you one check, it's enough, you know. So for instance, if you play bishop takes d6, for instance. Bishop takes d6.
Yes.
Yeah, bishop b5 check, you know. And now what to do? Where you go? Only in e7 if you don't want to lose everything with check, you know. If you go to f8, you lose everything with check. Queen takes d6 check and rook takes d1. And the position is terrible for black, you know.
Yeah.
Two pieces against rook and the attack which continues, you know.
Yeah, this rook is here.
So,
okay.
Yeah, you have to go to e7, and after rook e7, he plays rook e1 check, and okay, resignable. Rook e1 check. Everything with tempo. So the only way to do it is the way I played, you know. I mean, to have a safe king, you know.
You give up.
So I castle, of course. I castle, and now he played bishop takes there. Now you have to move the rook if you want something. If you rook e8, and now again he plays with tempo. Rook bishop c4. So okay, it seems black can resign here, no? Okay, nobody could imagine that starting from such a position, finally Tal would win such a game with big efforts, you know, in some fantastic ending at the end, you know.
Yeah,
because starting like from here, I found somehow the best moves. The game was very, very complicated and almost draw until the end, you know. But therefore it's very interesting, you see.
So big fight.
So big fight, yeah. Well, always better for him, of course. But you know, very complicated. So I found bishops h5, the only move. Now, if he takes in h5, queen takes c4. Okay, white is better, but it's not clear. Because somehow black has some attacking chances himself, because the rook is playing, the queen is okay in c4 is okay,
Yeah.
So, all right. So, of course, he didn't play like this. He goes back to h4. He has two bishops and a knight. I mean, two pieces for the rook.
Yeah.
Much better for white, but not very clear. Okay, bishop g6. Finally, black has the bishop, which is a very good piece, for the moment, and is now making attack anymore for white. You see, he doesn't have any real threats for the moment. You see. All right, so bishop b5, and again, the only good move, rook e4. Look at that. Every piece unpraised like that, but he can't take, of course, no. So he played.
He cannot take.
He can't take because the king is pinned,
Yes, yes, yes.
So what can he play? He played
Wow.
again the very good move, bishop g3, normal, you see. And here black has time to move something, So a6 now. A6. Now you have to go away with the bishop. Bishop d7. It seems again that black is in big trouble, But all right, we can trade queens now. Even the position is bad, but okay, at least
You free up a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't win in a few moves. Queen c4. Now, of course, now after queen takes c4, rook takes c4, it's clear white is better, but it's more complicated than before. I mean, he doesn't have real chances to win in a few moves. So right.
But anyway, he has two bishops also.
No,
Yes.
it's better for white, of course. Yeah. So right, rook e1 again, very good. Now b5. Well, he has to play a3 because if black has time to play b4, it's not clear who is better, after b4. Even if he doesn't lose the knight, but if the rook can arrive in c2, then the situation is different. You see. So right now you have to do something to be sure that the king is safe. Some h5 is a good move. All right. So he played bishop e5 again. Controls the central squares all the time.
So the central squares, you mean this one around here?
Yeah, everything. I mean, you have to move something, It's very difficult to move something because the two bishops are very strong,
Yeah.
So what to do? Rook d8, normal move, attacking the bishop. So now rook d1. You can't attack twice, rook c7 because he controls the square c7. So again, you have to do something. So I wanted to play f6, but f6 doesn't work immediately because you lose very quickly, after bishop e6 check,
Yeah.
So the king has to go away, and now he has time to play something himself. And he played again, very good move, g4. Now, if you take in g4, you open the h line, which is not really very good,
Against the king.
So, yeah, so it's okay. So again, you have to do something. I played f6, f6, and he came back. Now again, it was a moment when I could take in g4, but again, it wasn't very nice because you have to go back with the bishop in f7 afterwards,
To
to
defend
be
the
sure
king.
that defends the diagonal, So I didn't play like this. I played bishop e8. Now it's a small chance to make probably an even game if he makes a small mistake, but okay, he plays well until the end, of course. I mean,
no mistake from him.
no mistake at all. I mean, now he took in e8.
But what was the mistake here? What was
well, maybe to play bishop f5 or something like this. I mean, black has a good chance to save the game if he can trade as many pieces as possible, and finally make a draw somehow at the end. But it's very difficult, you see. So now he took in e8. Is good.
You wanted to trade the rook?
No, I wanted to trade the bishop and then not to lose the pawn in h5, but I had to lose the pawn, So that is the problem,
Okay.
So now he took in, and now he took in h5. Now we have this position, which is not so bad for black, but it's still much better for white, And okay, starting from here is the technical part of the game. I mean, he has to realize the advantage. Unfortunately, he played very well until then. It's not very complicated, but it's instructive,
Yeah.
And the game will be long enough. So now rook e4 again is the best move. Black has to accept the fact that he has to trade rooks, the only way to do it, But now he has time to come with the king. So, okay, he plays king d2, no?
Yes.
Now, check in d4, okay, we can trade rooks. All right, so he took. I took king e3, okay. And now, unfortunately, this ending is very good for white. It seems that black has a good chance to make draw, but in reality, white is much better because he has a better king, The end game is winning for white because of this king. You see, you'll see later
Which
on.
is in the center.
Yeah, he comes very quickly on the queen side, if it's necessary. So king d3, rook c5. Well, I put up the best resistance until the end, but it's not enough, you see. So king d4. Now I gave check, came back. Now big time trouble for both here. So he played before again, very good move.
So he was forcing you to.
Well, I took the pawn, and now it seems that if you have a little bit of luck, with black, maybe you can save,
Yeah.
But it's not enough because the knight is coming very quickly to attack the pawn from a6 on for b5, and he has a very good king, And the bishop is a good piece which controls all the important squares, So right, the continuation is almost forced. h4. Now you have to try to trade as many pieces as possible with black, So h4, king g6. What did he play? King d4. Okay.
But so here it wasn't better to maybe to push the pawn? No, because the knight will come?
No, I push the pawn, but a little bit later, So with a better king, I try to come with the king to,
First.
To be very near of these pawns,
Yeah.
But for one tempo, until the end is one tempo, one tempo that is enough for him to win, you see. So king g6, king d4, and now rook f5. So what did he play here? Knight d5, king e4, pardon. King e4 break, and now, knight d5. Here, king f7, no? King f7, knight c7. And now it seems again very bad for black, you see.
Yeah.
So again, I found a very good move, normal again.
Yeah.
Rook h6. Now he can't take in a6 because he loses the knight with f5 check,
Yeah.
So,
nice.
Of course, he has to do something. And he played king d5. And now, starting from here again, the only moves. Now g5. We can defend for the moment the pawn from a6 with this move. Now he has to take,
Otherwise,
I come very quickly,
with the pawn.
Yeah. So he took, I took, and now for this moment the pawn is defended,
Yeah.
So now again, he has the best moves. I mean, king c5, or what did he play? King c5. Now he gives you the move. He's threatening here bishop d6 to take in a6, So what did I play? King d7, no? King d7. All right. So knight d5 check, king d7. And it seems that more or less black is coming,
and protecting.
Yeah, protect the pawn.
Yeah.
And here knight c7, and okay, you have to do something. What to do? The only move, what did I play here? Here, if this is, this is unbelievable. Well, unbelievable. It's normal because it has a better king. If you can take back the two pieces with rook c6, the endgame is still lost for black, I mean, rook c6 check, king d5, you takes everything, and king e5, and you lose the pawn from g5, and it's enough.
He's faster.
The king is best. He's much better, yeah. So therefore, you can't take back the two pieces,
Wow.
So now you have to wait again, to move something. Yeah, g4, And now he moves again, he's coming back to the same idea to take you the pawn from g4 by giving the pawn from a3. Well, it seems it's more or less all right, but in reality, white is better by one tempo, and he wins finally. You'll see. So king e4, all right. King c8. King what? King f5, yeah. King b7, all right. King b7. Now he took it, g4. And rook c3. Now again, if he is not, careful. Black wants to do the only thing, to take in a3 and then play a5. If he arrives to this, is a good chance to make a draw, maybe, But one tempo is not enough, you see.
Oh,
So, and here bishop c7, a fantastic move. I mean, now he has the idea to put the bishop in a5, you know,
to block
to
everything.
block the brain. And then he comes with the pawn, with f pawn.
Yeah,
And because he's with one pawn, you know, on the
free.
board, he wins, you see. So again, black tries to find the only way to resist. And I played what? King c5, c6 to come with the king to the center. You
To
know?
help
Yeah.
the other pawn.
So now what? Now I'm threatening king d7, and if I arrive to d7, black is not losing anymore, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So bishop a5, excellent move, and now what? King a2, forcing the, you know, the game continuation. f4, king d5, and now he played king knight g5. Yeah. So I played check, king f5, and now rook a2. And it seems now that if the king goes to g6, move by move, black has a very good chance by sacrificing the rook against the bishop to make a draw, you know. But again, by one move is not enough.
For this pawn to go faster.
Yeah, and now he played the normal move, king g6.
Yeah.
And now, okay, rook takes, and look, until the end is very interesting, but he wins by one tempo.
But this was your move?
Yeah.
This was your move.
So okay. He took, yeah, b4. And now, what did he play? Knight f5, b3.
Oh.
Now, if he goes,
yes,
black is coming and makes queen with check, you know.
Faster, yeah.
Yeah. And now he wins by one move, you know, knight f3, the only move. Now, unfortunately, you can't play king e4 because you lose the pawn with knight d2 check. So you have to push. You have to push b2.
Oh, yes, yeah, here.
b2. So after b2, knight d2. Okay, king d4, f6, king d3. Again, f7 makes draw, you know. If you may. Now he played the best move, knight b1, and black has to resign. Why? Because after king c2, yeah,
yes,
knight a3 check, king b3 first, you know, f7, king takes a3,
and check,
queen check, and he wins, you know.
One tempo.
By one tempo. It's unbelievable, you know.
Yeah.
Even with some small mistakes, maybe, you know, somehow, but a game like this, of course, you know. And finally, you know, the final result of the tournament was that I missed the candidates by half a point. So imagine that if I won against Trois, for instance, from Brazil, everything was almost there, almost finished.
Half a point extra.
But probably if I win against Trois, I don't lose against Tal. I play a normal game and I make a draw with Tal. You know?
Yeah.
But
even this one was very close.
What can I say? It was very strange, you know. And here, if you look like this after so many years, also a very big, you know. It's very unfortunate that the pawn is on G, you know. If the pawn is on F, is draw, you know. Or the F file is draw, you know. Theoretical draw.
Is on B. Is on B.
Is on B. Yeah, yes. On B. On C. If it's on C, it's very good chance to make a draw. Especially only pawn against queen. With pawn against queen is almost draw because it's pot, you know, at the end, you know.
Yeah. He cannot take it from you. He cannot take it from you.
Well, he's on B and you lose.
If it was on this...
Fantastic, you know. I mean, just one tempo, you know.
Yeah.
I don't say that everything was perfect. Probably it was a small mistakes from Tal and from myself. But the game was very complicated, especially from such a crazy position after the opening, I must say, you know. But altogether, it was normal. It wasn't normal at all, the whole game, you see. It wasn't normal because I explained before why and so, you know.
So it wasn't only just a loss, it was actually because it was important for the
for the candidates. Yes, of course. And
you missed the opportunity to qualify.
Yes, and it was most unfortunate, you know. Even like this, at the end of the tournament, we came to such a situation where 2 rounds before the end, I played against the Soviet champion Tchaikovsky. And he made draw without 2 pawns, you know, study, you know, something unbelievable, a different color bishop. It seemed that he's completely lost and somehow he's draw, you know, by force. So we came to the last round and I played Polugaevsky, decisive game. And if he makes draw, he's qualified for for the candidates, I must beat him. And if I win against Polugevsky the last round, then we have to make a match and to qualify, you know. And it's enough for me to have 2-2 in this match, or 3-3, something even, you know. And I qualify because I have a much better balls. And imagine we made a draw, very fighting game and so. But Polugevsky, a super grandmaster like this, he proposed with white 6 times draw, you know. This is unbelievable, you know. I mean,
So-
after the game, he excused himself. He said, well, I was very nervous and so on, but it's against all the rules. I mean, the world to propose 6 times by such a level, you know. Okay, so it
So-
happened.
A lot of tensions in this
Yes, of
tournament.
course. That was the story, you know. That was the story of this interzonal, but it was unfortunate, and
Yeah.
you know,
But anyway, this was a very beautiful
very
fight.
interesting game. Yeah, very interesting game, but not normal at all. I mean, you don't play like this against Tal, you know. So, I mean, it's like provoking, you know, provoking the lion.
Looking
somehow,
for
you
trouble.
see. Looking for trouble, you know. Immediately after the pianos, 10 moves like this, you have a, you know, a position, a crazy position. Yeah. So it was really a miracle that we arrived in some end game, because
Yeah.
before it seemed that you know, everything
very
could
fast.
happen. Yeah, yeah. Okay, it happens.
It was a very-
So therefore, I wanted to show the game because
Yes.
it was very strange and, you know, somehow very
Big-
interesting. You see.
With
With-
big consensus.
with a special story like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for
You're
sharing,
welcome.
Mr. Gheorghiu.
You're welcome.
Thank you.